It feels like eons ago that the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook, but it was actually, weirdly enough, 2 summers ago. But it felt so long ago because we just saw the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. We, of course, remember the bubble championship, but that Russell Westbrook trade and then the subsequent year in 2021-22 where the Lakers missed the playoffs, it just felt like a window was needlessly shut on a championship contender because of a trade everybody knew at the time. No hindsight, no retrospect, was awful at the time. And many were wondering, how is Rob Pelinka, who pulled off the trade in the first place? Of course, we all know that it was LeBron James who signed off on it, but Rob Pelinka at the end of the day still did the trade. And many were wondering, how the hell is Pelinka going to get out of this with LeBron aging and Anthony Davis, his contract extension looming in the next 2 years? Well, at that time it was looming. But now we're here and the Lakers are back to normal. They're back on track. And with Anthony Davis getting extended, with LeBron James coming back, even though we all know he wasn't going to retire, the Lakers have reloaded. Pelinka reimagined this team after the trade deadline. He masterfully got out of the Russell Westbrook contract last year and basically went back to formula with the Lakers team that won the bubble championship in 2020. I look at this Lakers team, and the more I look at it, the more I look over their offseason, the more I think about the team post-trade deadline, which is really what I'm going to talk about mainly in this video because there's just no point in bringing up the Russell Westbrook stuff. I also felt bad for Russell Westbrook during his Laker tenure. It was just an obvious, tenuous, strained relationship between he and the fan base, but he's a Clipper now. He was playing well with the Clippers. Everybody's happy. The Lakers are back to normal, and the more I look at them, the more I like this team. So it's been a tried and true formula throughout LeBron's career, but you surround LeBron with a second best player, a co-star, or even a third banana co-star. You also have to surround LeBron with shooters, with multiple defenders, sometimes multiple ball handlers, so you could take some pressure off of LeBron. And for some reason, the Lakers went away from that formula after they won their 2020 championship. Just the exodus of players that were on that team. The Lakers went in on star power that didn't fit, and everybody knew it, and we all knew the fit was going to be bad, and that's what it was. But the trade deadline last year and the moves Rob Pelinka pulled off and the way the Lakers played post-trade deadline, it just showed that the Lakers went right back to normal, right back to formula. Multiple defenders with, this time, I feel like in this iteration, multiple ball handlers with the emergence of Austin Reaves, especially as he got to start towards the end of last season. D'Angelo Russell. Rui Hachimura was a nice athletic scoring wing option to play off of LeBron. You had Dennis Schroder in there, obviously, but the Lakers upgraded, and I'll talk about some of the additions later. But the Lakers went back to a formula with a little bit of a remix because LeBron is older, and also he was dealing with a nasty foot injury towards the end of the season, so that helped facilitate it, but multiple ball handlers to take pressure off of LeBron, while also having multiple defenders and being able to go back to that lineup versatility that having two players like LeBron James and Anthony Davis affords you to, because having Russell Westbrook restrained that versatility. So the Lakers, with their offseason moves, after a nice trade deadline, they were able to bring back guys that they traded for. They went back to formula. They're doubling down on that formula, and that's why I'm bullish on this team as a contender. You'll see the stats on the screen, but post-trade deadline, the Lakers' offensive and defensive ratings improved dramatically. Post-trade deadline, they were the second best defense, and then they were a top 15 offense. They were 14th per cleaning the glass, but I look at that as that is a really good starting point for a team that just got reimagined mid-season. A bunch of new players came in, and they kind of had to gel together on the fly with a rookie head coach, by the way, in Darvin Ham, who I'm going to reserve judgment on Darvin Ham for a few years. I know that's a civil war going on in the Lakers fan base right now, but I actually like Darvin Ham as a coach, but again, I'm willing to be wrong, but we have to also give grace to the fact that he was a rookie head coach. But they gelled together, and they were able to find some closing lineups in the playoffs that worked. And with some of the new additions they made this summer, in addition to bringing back the guys they traded for, I could see a scenario in the playoffs where some of their closing lineups they played these past playoffs are going to be upgraded because they have better players in a few key rotation spots. Like getting Gabe Vincent, that was a smart move by Rob Pelinka. Gabe Vincent is a proven playoff performer, a culture guy coming from the Miami Heat, someone who can shoot off movement, someone who can be a not a primary ball handler, but a secondary ball handler next to LeBron James. That's like actually the perfect quintessential point guard to play off of LeBron James, in my opinion. Gabe Vincent is also a good point of attack defender. I actually wouldn't be surprised if come playoff time next year, the Lakers had a few games where they decided to start Gabe Vincent and not D'Angelo Russell, because Russell did have times where he was taken out in crucial playoff moments. Bringing in Taurean Prince is a nice, versatile piece to add to the Lakers rotation. If the Lakers come across the issue again where Jared Vanderbilt is unplayable or Rui Hachimura doesn't have the hot shooting numbers that he had from last year and is ineffective at points, the Lakers have another option to go to in terms of someone who can play small ball 4 or small forward and move LeBron James to the 4. Taurean Prince is a malleable piece like that, so I thought that was a good pickup for Rob Pelinka as well. I also like the Jackson Hayes signing as a low-risk, high-upside signing. The 2021-22 season was Jackson Hayes' best season of his career. He played a lot of minutes at the 4, playing off of Valanciunas, and was actually effective, especially when you look at some of the film and the lineup data. So the reason I point to Jackson Hayes as a nice, low-risk, high-upside signing is because we all know Anthony Davis doesn't like to play the center, but Darvin Ham had no choice, of course, but to play Anthony Davis at the center. But if you want to preserve Anthony Davis throughout the regular season, I think Jackson Hayes is a nice big to play off of Anthony Davis in a double big lineup, because film and numbers have shown that Jackson Hayes is an effective 4 guy, as well as, an athletic backup big. With maybe some coaching, you can bring the most out of him as the backup 5 as well. I have him, along with Max Christie, in the wild card category of the Lakers rotation. Those two are going to play. If you look at this Lakers rotation with the new additions they made this summer and bringing back some guys and extending some guys like Austin Reaves, who was a revelation for this team, they have a solid 8 already. I think a solid 8-player playoff rotation already, minus Jared Vanderbilt, depending on how you feel about him and his playoff upside. But they have some answers. If some guys don't play well, they can mix and match different lineups. But Max Christie and Jackson Hayes, I think, are going to get minutes, and they're going to need those guys. And with Max Christie, who showed last year some flashes of shooting, but in the summer league this year really showed out, if he could find a role as a defender shooter and stick to that role and stay in his lane and be able to carve out rotational minutes going down that path, then that's going to pay dividends for the Lakers as well, because that's another shooter and a big wing defender for LeBron James to count on. If you just look at this, there's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of athleticism too with guys like Rui Hachimura. You still have Anthony Davis. LeBron James is still somehow athletic as fuck at 38, going to be 39 years old. But we'll talk about LeBron James and Anthony Davis and their health prospects later. But you got Gabe Vincent, who's young, can shoot. Rui Hachimura, young athletic wing. Jared Vanderbilt, athletic as hell. Jackson Hayes, athletic as hell. Max Christie can shoot, has size, and is young. The Lakers have a nice mix of youth, versatility, shooting, and switchability, which is just something they didn't have in the 2021-22 season. But it's all going to hinge on the health of their stars, because LeBron's in the top 5, top 6 in terms of players I would take in the playoffs. Anthony Davis is a great co-star to play off of LeBron James. And when Anthony Davis was healthy, he was dominant last year. There was a stretch early in the season where AD was averaging like 35 and 15 for like 15 straight games. It was like, what the fuck? But he was healthy in the playoffs last year, or relatively healthy, although he had up and down inconsistent offensive games, though he was dominant defensively in the playoffs until he ran into Jokic. But, you know, who didn't have trouble guarding Jokic? But anyway, LeBron James and Anthony Davis's health is going to be paramount for this Lakers season. I know that's not rocket science. I'm not breaking any new revelation here, but LeBron James is going to be 39 years old this upcoming season, and he's had injuries the last few years. And while we've known LeBron to be durable, Father Time catches up with everybody. And I just wonder how often LeBron is going to be healthy this year. And in the back of my mind, I still worry about his foot. I don't know if they confirmed or if LeBron needed surgery on his foot, but it sounded like it was really bad. And look, man, it's life. He's older, but he is still LeBron fucking James. Although it's a different LeBron James. He's shooting more threes and all that stuff. But LeBron just needed help with this roster. And I think with continuity and improvement from the young players, hopefully this is the regular season where LeBron is able to bring down his usage rate. And I'm actually more encouraged by that this season than in seasons past, because in the playoffs, when obviously he was hampered, presumably with the foot injury, LeBron James had a usage rate of 27% compared to, you know, the regular season where he was like at 33.8, which was the highest usage rate of his career with the Lakers. So I'm actually encouraged because Austin Reaves is going to get the starting spot from Jump Street. D'Angelo Russell is still going to do his thing during the regular season. They have Gabe Vincent. Anthony Davis, hopefully he can stay relatively healthy than usual. The combination of Rui Hachimura and Taurean Prince will give you some size at the wing and some versatility, lineup combination, switchability. Max Christie and Jackson Hayes are nice high upside plays. I don't know. I look at the rest of the West and I look at the Lakers going back to formula with how you build a team around a LeBron James plus co-star led team, and you add the wild card factors that I think will break in the Lakers' favor, like internal improvement from young guys, internal improvement from Darvin Ham, who was a young coach himself. I don't know. I like this Lakers team. I think it makes sense. I think they're a top 3 contender in the West, and it just depends on the health of their best players. But if you just look on paper, if you look at how they played last year, there's no reason to think that the Lakers won't make a deep playoff run this season.